everyone, Star here from Diane and welcome to another day of table favours. This one I'm just calling it a Mercy chocolate holder. Now if you want to make this nice and you know, like fancy around the top, you could, but you know, because it's only for the day on the table, I'm using up some old paper here and I'm doing it in blue and red. So I've got a bit of this tinsel ribbon that I've had for a few years as well, but when you open it up, it holds a single Mercy chocolate in like a little shadow box. So just holds a lovely little chocolate. You can pop it in there and you just very carefully, because this glitter stuff doesn't frays a tiny bit on the edges, just tie it off into a nice little ribbon, bow, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, a bow, not a ribbon. It is a ribbon, but it's a bow. And that just sits on the table. Now I've put a Merry Christmas on here. My Merry Christmas is out of, oh, I didn't bring over. It's on the Christmas Scotties. But I didn't bring the stamp set over to show you. That's the only thing that is actually current in this book, except for the colours. So this bit of paper was from a few years ago, and I must admit I wasn't overly keen on it, but I just thought it's a great way of using it up. And it says holiday fruit on there. My two pieces that I've got for this one, something in, oh, excuse me, German, I think that is, and then that was on the end of that like that. So that's how much designer series paper you need. So let me show you what you need, because there's not a real lot of anything. Alright, so for our shadow box we need a piece of card that measures 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. For our outer box we need a piece that measures 2 inches by 10 inches, and then we need 2 pieces of designer series paper that measure 1 3/4 by 3 inches, and a piece of ribbon that is probably way too long in this case, probably about 40 centimeters long. So that's all we need for this project. A tiny bit of scrap here which I've got so that I'm going to cut out from my double oval punch here, just with the Merry Christmas, which I've got here from out of my Christmas Scotties, and I'm just going to stamp that in memento. And you'll need just a hole punch of some kind. This is a 1/8 one. I do have my big Memory Keepers one here, but I don't think I'll be using that one today. Okay, so let me show you what we need to do. So we're going to bring in our scoreboard and we're going to score both our pieces. So we're going to start with our outer box, and I'm going to have to bring that paper over here because I can't read it from that distance. And we're going to score our outer box at 1 1/4 inches, and making sure that we have the small end. So 1 1/4 inches, 1 1/2 inches, 4 3/4 inches. If I put my glasses on I might be able to see a bit better. 5 1/4 inches, 8 1/2 inches, and 8 3/4 inches. Now that's all the scoring we're going to do on that piece. On our other piece here, we're going to score this on the short side at 3/8 of an inch and 3 1/2 inches, or 3/8, turn it all the way around, and 3/8. On the long side, we're going to score this at 1/2 an inch, 7/8 of an inch, 1 3/8 of an inch, 1 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/2 inches, 3 7/8 of an inch, 4 3/8 of an inch, and 4 3/4 of an inch, or half, 7/8, 1 3/8, 1 3/4. Turn it all the way around and score it at half, 7/8, 1 3/8, and 1 3/4 inches. So that's a good way of checking that you've actually scored it correctly. Now that's all our scoring done, and as I say, all the measurements for these are on my Facebook group, which is DIE stands for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the measurements on the tutorial, and the tutorial will be written with inches as well as metric measurements. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way for a minute because I don't need that. And let's work on these pieces. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines on our shadow box piece, which is the, in this case I'm doing mine in 2 colours. So it's a great way to use up a lot of scraps. You know, these don't take much, and I think this is a very good way of using up your pieces that are just left over from other projects. So whilst we've done that, we're going to bring in our scissors and we're going to cut away. I don't know if you can see that very well on this paper. We're going to cut away the first 3 square pieces here on each 4 corners. So we're going to cut up to the third line, 1, 2, third line. We're going to cut that away. And we're going to do that on all 4 of them. I'm going to turn that over for me, it's easier, and you probably can see my lines better. And we're going to pop that away. And then turn that around the other way, and we're going to do the same again, cut up to the third line and cut away. And one more, third line, and cut that piece away there. Okay, so we're left with our pieces with 4 little squares. So now we're going to turn it this way again, and we're going to cut from that square up to the next line, and we're going to notch that in on the inside. And we're going to do that on all 4 corners. So we're going to cut that and notch that in. Cut up to the next line and notch that in. Cut up to the next and notch that in. That's all our cutting done. So right, let me lay that down there for you so have a look at. And I'll get rid of all my scraps. There we go. So, whoops, that one's still got a piece in there. So this is what we're left with. A piece of card that looks like this. What I'm going to bring in now, you can either put tape on there if you want, but I just find it easier, and it's a little bit stronger if you put a little bit of wet glue on the corner. Bring that around and bring it in to make a nice corner, like a box. Okay, and we're going to do that on all 4 of them. Oops. And bring that one around. Bring that one around. And then the lucky last there. Now I'm going to give those a few seconds to dry. So while I'm doing that, we will talk about the chocolate that's going to go in here. Let me see, let's get it over there. Now I have these, they're called Merci. You buy these in Aldi in Australia. I would imagine they're from Aldi all over the world, I'm not sure. So these don't actually tell me where they come from, but I know that they sell them all over the world. So I'm sure, I believe in the US you can get these in Target as well. But I don't shop in Target, there's not a Target store near me at all. The closest Target store to me is like 50 kilometres away. So I don't go there. Plus the fact they don't have checkouts anymore. Everything is done without a checkout. You have to go through the check yourself, and I don't like that. So I buy the ones that are the mixed pack, which is the chocolate and the dark, mainly because I like them. But I know they come in all dark or all chocolate as well. So that's the chocolate we're going to be using. So I've told you about that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this box, because now that those corners are dried, and we're going to pop some glue on this very end tab. And then we're going to roll that around. I can't see in there very well. Let me move that one out of the way. So that this edge here is up against this edge here. If you can see in there, that's this edge, this back edge here. I'm going to roll that around so that that is right around in there, and that flap with the glue on it is flat along the bottom, like so. Just give that a few seconds to catch, and then we'll do exactly the same. And that one hasn't. Stick down, come on. It's not always easy because of the fact that there's nothing for you to hold down with. That's why it's good to put a fair bit of glue down there. We're going to do exactly the same on that side there. I'm going to push that right back into the corner, right back into that back bit. I'm going to hold them down for a few seconds so that they catch nicely. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to turn that upside down, and I will pop on there my punch for a moment, and we will work on the cover. Okay, so here we have our cover, and I'm going to bring in my colour rounder, and I'm just going to round the corners on all 4 of these corners. If you've got a fancy corner rounder, that's fine. Use a nice fancy one if you wish. Okay, so I've done that, and now we're going to just fold these, and this is folding out, so it's a valley fold on the first fold, and it's the same on both ends. So we can do a valley fold on the first fold on that end there, making sure that we're lined up nicely on the edges. Then we're going to do a mountain fold on the second one, and again making sure we're nicely lined up. So we're going to do a mountain fold on the second one on both ends. Then we're going to just do a mountain fold on the next one, making sure again, and a mountain on the last one, making sure that it's all nicely lined up. Before we go any further, we're actually going to pop this together at the top like so, and very carefully, we're going to turn this over for me because it's going to be easier. We're going to pop in a couple of holes through our 2 pieces. I can't get my hand around that one today. Making sure that they're still nicely together, because my last one I didn't, and I got a bit of a screw whiff, so that they're nicely together like so. Alright, so while we're waiting for that still to dry, we'll finish this off. Let's move those bits with our designer series paper. Now you'll want your designer series paper to be on so that if you've got a directional pattern, it's landscape. Portrait, sorry, not landscape, portrait. So we'll pop that onto there. I have this huge hair on my jumper. And pop that into them there, like so. Now you need to turn it around 180 degrees to put your other piece on, because otherwise you'll have one upside down and one up the right way. And pop this one on between those 2 score lines there. These 2, the second score lines. Once I've got those in there like that, that one looks like I didn't cut that very straight, but that's the back, so we're not really going to be worried about that too much. Okay, so that's our main box done. we'll pop that on one side and we'll do a little bit of stamping. We'll give that a chance to finish drying. So I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas onto my piece of red here. You could do it in white, you could do it in any colour you like. And now I need my punch. So I'm going to bring my punch in and I'm going to punch my Merry Christmas out of this punch. Like so. Okay. That's ready. We'll pop a dimension on the back. Our box is nice and stuck together now, so it can go with the front showing. Open the front of it up. And this is going to just stick inside here like this. So we just need a tiny bit of glue onto the back of this. Making sure that it's between these, the second score line and the third score line. And that's going to come up like so. And that one's going to be able to come down like that. And give that a few seconds. We can actually rub that from the back. Okay, we'll pop our Mercy chocolate in there. Like so. It's a nice snug fit. Pop that in. Pop our ribbon through our box. And I have got way more ribbon than I need, but this is very old as well, and like everything, you need to use it up, otherwise it just gets wasted. And this is a great way to use up older products that you've got. Okay, we'll pop our little saying on the front here that says Merry Christmas, and that is our thing. I might chop them off. I can find my scissors. Chop them off a bit. They're a bit long. Okay, and that is our table favour. Now, if you have enjoyed today's table favour, and I'm not sure what day this one is, day 4 I think, I will be doing one more for the this year, because I do the 5, and if you would like the written tutorial for this, sorry, I've got a bit off track there. If you'd like the written tutorial for this, please head over to Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. You'll find the link down below. If you've enjoyed today's table favour, please give me a thumbs up. If you've never been here before and you'd like to see more of my projects, please subscribe so that you don't miss any. If you hit the bell button, you'll also be told when I've got another one going. Now, I do one, most times I do 5 projects a month. This is just a holiday project that I do once a year, and my 5 projects every month are every Sunday morning South Australian time at 8 AM they go live, and one Wednesday in the month called a Wowzer Wednesday. So if you have enjoyed these and you would like to see more, please head over there and check them all out, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.